This groundbreaking and multi-million rand deal. We are joined by the Eastern Cape Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism MEC, Mcebisi Jonas. MEC, good morning to you.
Good morning to you too.
MEC, how did this multi-million rand deal come about?
Look, it's part of a broader program to drive and steer development on the Wild Coast. We actually realized that if we cannot shift fiscal investment and transfers towards the productive economy in the area, we are unlikely to dent poverty in the area. So in this regard, then, we embarked on a big program, the backbone of which is infrastructure development in the form of the N2, Wild Coast N2, as well as the big dam, Mcebisi Dam, as well as a major road that connects the coastal areas of the former Transkei with East London and KZN on the other side. So part of that should be to stimulate enterprise development activities through financial support packages, as well as creating new opportunities and non-financial support to small and medium enterprises.
Now, 100 million rand is a lot of money. How are you going to make sure that it goes to the intended people, which are obviously the ordinary residents of the province?
Look, I mean, we have been very specific that the fund is going to target specific sectors, and we are emphatic that it must target the productive sectors and services sectors. Essentially, we'll be looking at using it to stimulate agriculture enterprise activities. So it will focus on agriculture projects as long as they are linked to supply networks. It will also be focusing on tourism, looking at creating new facilities in the Wild Coast, and also bringing new players into the tourism sector. It will also be looking at a whole range of other sectors, like in particular construction. Because of the major opportunities of infrastructure development, there is an opportunity to grow new players into the industry of construction.
Now, for an aspiring businessman in the Eastern Cape watching this program right now, what is the criteria for getting these funds for his or her business? Ideas?
Look, I mean, at the moment, I think what we're looking at activities between 50,000 rands and 5 million. And essentially, I think you must also demonstrate that the idea is viable in the first instance. That secondly, that you must actually be very clear to show that how it links with the broader development. And certainly, we would fund projects where the project owners are participating and directly benefiting from the project. The normal standards are pursued in terms of compliance.
Mm-hmm. So they have to comply with the normal things that a business would be required. They must be registered, they must be VAT registered, all those, that type of thing must be in place.
All of that. Yeah.
Will your organization, or will government help these small businesses, because some of them struggle with these type of credentials? Will government help them to assist them to get it right?
Yes, we've got a number of agencies and a number of programs already providing that kind of support. We've got the Eastern Cape Development Corporation. It provides, amongst other things, non-financial support to companies, small and medium enterprises. It actually helps them sometimes with registration. Sometimes we even support them with feasibility studies where it's necessary. But also you have CEDAs of this world. So there are a number of other organizations, a multiplicity of organizations that will provide that support. But the financial instrument is probably a top of the cherry, an icing on top. What it does, it actually ensures that the enterprise is drawn into the actual business activities.
Corruption is rife, MEC. Who is going to handle this particular fund to ensure that it goes to these intended markets? SIFA
already has an extensive presence in the Eastern Cape. They have actually a credibility already in the market. They are running currently very successful funding activities in the province. So we would actually be pretty much using their backbone administrative infrastructure for the rollout of the program. But also I think there are certain basic standards that are followed in these kinds of things, and with hope to follow and stick to those.
Now, we understand that the first phase of the deal will last for 5 years. What is your intended target during the first 5 years?
Look, I mean, we cannot point out to say this is the number of industries that will, enterprises that will support, but certainly the bulk of it must be in the productive sector. So we really are focusing pretty much on linking and stimulating agriculture activities in the province, and mainly commercial agriculture activities in the area, because you'll know that the bulk of almost 120 farmers in the area, the bulk of them are just small scale farmers who are probably engaged in subsistence farming activities. Our view is that you need to grow that and take them out of that phase so that you can broaden wage employment in the area. So that's what we'll focus on. The second part, of course, is that we look at tourism, creating new tourism facilities in the area, augmenting the existing one, and ensuring that they become more competitive and more professional and improve their standards, but also ensure that you bring new players into all of those sectors.
So if you're a construction worker or a construction owner, if you're a small farmer, if you're a tourism operator, this is the type of business for you.
Certainly.
And that is the MEC for the in the Wild Coast region for the Development, Environmental and Tourism MEC, Mcebisi Jonas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.